I don't know if you watch the instructors on YouTube. There's a couple out there that lead off their tip session, giving you a hot tip by saying, if you use this tip on your swing, what I'm going to teach you today, you won't even have to hit balls at the practice range anymore. You'll just be able to go to the course and play. Well, that may be true, but as a golfer who's been at it for over 58 years, I can tell you, you learn so much by practicing. Doesn't matter if you're hitting it well or hitting it mediocre, if you got it grooved or you got a bug in your swing. Your practice session is one of the most important things you can do for a couple of reasons. And I'm going to get to that when we come back. People that don't really know me, when they first play with me, say, wow, is your swing grooved? Man, you hit it right down the middle every time. How do you do that? What's your secret? My secret? I got plenty of secrets, and I'm going to get into them today. But they're my own secrets because I've learned what makes my body come back to the ball square and hit those shots. But they're for my body. I don't have your body. I got my own body. And let me tell you, it takes me on average 20 shots to even begin to get loose when I go to the practice range. And that's because I got spastic muscles. You all know that if you follow me. Okay, but why is it so important to practice? Number one, for feel. When you don't practice, the club almost seems foreign in your arms. You say, geez, the grip feels funny, or feels the weight of it feels funny. It's because you haven't touched it in a couple of weeks. Now, for those of you who have muscle problems, you may say, wow, but I'm loose today. And you want to maybe crank it a little harder. But don't, because you've given your body a rest if you have taken a couple weeks off. But you got to get your feel back. So on the practice range or the warm-up range, all you want to do is get your feel back, because you don't want to get to the first tee and you say, what the heck am I doing? I always have one or two swing keys going for me when I'm hitting the ball well. And those swing keys may only last for 3 or 4 times out, and then I got to change them because my body is changing all the time. So right now, let me go through a couple of swing keys. And the first one I got to go through is very obvious, how I stand to the ball. And I went through, bending the knees, having a swing like that, with my knees bent more. I'm down lower. Didn't work. So I worked with very stiff knees. Okay, keeps me in one place, makes a pretty good pivot, works pretty good. Then the third way I learned to adjust the ball with my legs is just a slight bend so everything can move more naturally and I'm not so stiff, especially on the days when my muscles are stiff, because I have that problem. So that's the first swing key that I go to. I get my stance and my aim. Those who know me know I pick a spot 3 feet in front of the ball and I line it up. And I say, okay, that's my spot. I get over, I put my face right to that spot, and then I don't maybe look at the target once, but no, I'm done. I know if I'm at that spot because I looked at it from behind, that's where I got to go. And I hit it. It's not even a complicated thing. Right down the middle. That's a swing key. My alignment and my setup. Those are the first swing keys I deal with. And if I haven't hit balls, my hands feel funny, my body feels funny, and alignment feels funny. I have actually not hit balls for a couple of weeks because of rain or weather or cold, and I showed up at my first practice session not even close to where I was supposed to be aiming. And that happens. And that's why when you practice a lot, you know exactly when you're at the target, aimed at the target, and how you're going to take the club back and hit to some degree. But it's because of practicing over and over again. Usually when I practice and I don't want to deal with lining it up every shot, I just put a ball in front of where my tee is, and that ball's my aiming spot. It's about two and a half feet away from my other ball. So I don't have to worry about an alignment rod because I just align myself perpendicular or parallel to that line, and my club face goes right on that line. So I'm there and I can hit it. Remember, usually I'm practicing off a mat because it's nice and flat. Yeah, people complain, oh yeah, but you can hit it fat all day long and no one's going to know. No, you know when you hit it fat off a mat. But if you're practicing off grass, for God's sake, get a nice level piece of grass to practice off of. I mean, you got to dodge where people have been taking divots and taking chunks of earth out of the ground, because some guys just like to dig for an hour and a half. But anyway, make sure you level. Make sure the ball, for God's sake, isn't higher than your feet, because you're used to going where your body is. And if the ball is actually higher because of the ground, if you're standing in a bit of a hole, man, you're going to mess and you hit 60 balls, you're going to mess your swing up. So make sure if you're on real grass, you're nice and level, right? Okay. Now, one thing I do, I make sure my balance is there. And not so much on my follow through as on my swing. Where's my weight going? Is it staying to the front as I swing? Is it going too far back when I swing? It's got to be balanced weight transfer. And only you know how that feels balanced. And that ties into how far you put your feet apart at your stance. Me, I keep them fairly narrow because I'm less flexible and I need to get a nice pivot and a move, and that helps me. If I'm too wide, I'm going to have a tough time transferring my weight around. So I keep it narrow. That's me. I see some players love a wide stance and they do very well. Try it out. Try it out. It's funny. You ever hear that comment? Some announcer was asking Jack Nicklaus, sometimes you faded the ball when you played, sometimes you hooked the ball when you played. How did you determine? Was it the course? And Nicklaus said, to my astonishment, no, it's actually whatever was working that day on the practice range. So believe it or not, one of the greatest golfers, if not the greatest golfer, would show up to the practice range and decide what his swing was doing for him that day and then follow it. Amazing, right? So he's human. And for those who didn't know, he was born with polio. Slight case. He survived it. His sister, I think, also had it. But he had problems with his body, with his back, all through his career. That's why he just said, I'm just playing majors from now on. I'm taking it easy on my body. I'm just playing the majors. Because he didn't need the money. And that's what he was going for, the majors. So he kind of took a break from all the other tournaments on the schedule. So, anyway, getting back to what I think about. I don't know if you've noticed on my videos, I've been trying to float the club, however slightly, above the ground. I find I get a smoother takeaway and a smoother swing with my club just above the ground. Gives me a nice takeaway, and I hit. It's a lot easier than having a club on the ground and you stub it going back. I saw one instructor on the internet said, sweep the grass going back, sweep the grass going back. Well, if you watch the pros, they're not on the grass. They're above the grass. They're close, because they want the club down there for their sanity when they look at it, but they're just above the grass and they're not actually on the grass. And it gives them a nice smooth takeaway. And I've been doing that. It's been helping me. It's been giving me more, helps me with my timing and everything else. Another swing key I use is sort of like Hogan, not exactly like Hogan, but I use my left arm, or my lead arm if you're left-handed, my lead arm for a guardrail. Now what does that mean? That means when I take the club back, it's not away from my body. It's actually rubbing right against my chest as I take the club back. Do I have a flatter swing? Yes, I do. I'll admit that. But that works for me. Over the years, I've developed a flat swing. I didn't always have a flat swing. When I was younger, I used to have the club up here. And this swing, I wish I knew it when I was playing competitive golf, because I'm much more consistent. But that's a guardrail, or you call it a swing key. Arm raking across the chest, puts me right on plane. This butt end of the club, as I say almost every day, goes right to the ball. Then we come down and it stays on the target line, and I hit it straight as an arrow. So that's one of my swing keys. I got my stance, my legs in a certain position, my aim is in a certain position. I'm floating the club, and I'm using this arm to go scraping across my chest. That's 3. I should be playing today. Why am I out here? Now, obviously, if you know the fundamentals of golf, you look at the old timers, most of them, not all. In fact, my legend hero, Lee Trevino, legend, used to break his wrist right off the ball. And I can't do that. And some people swear by that on the internet as an instructor. They go, break it, push down, push, let the right hand push the left hand down. If that works for you, my God, use it. Doesn't work for me. I have to have the wrist not breaking on the takeaway now. Keeps me on plane. Okay? So left arm is going against my chest, and I'm not breaking the wrist on the way back. I tend to get too choppy. I tend to lose everything. I tend to lose my shoulder turn. Because look, if we break the wrist on the way, the shoulder hasn't moved, versus you do this and the shoulder started turning right away. For me, the faster the shoulder starts to move, the more consistent my swing is. That's just the way it is for me. For me. Notice I'm saying for me. Try it out for you. It's got to work for you. What good is it if you're trying to swing like me? Don't try to swing like me. Figure out what works for you. So there you go. That's another swing key. Okay, now, 2 days ago, I just couldn't hit the ball solid. Now look, these swing keys, do I think of them all at once? No. A lot of them are ingrained in my swing after a while. You just do it naturally. But yes, the other day, 2 days ago, I wasn't hitting the ball at all. Couldn't hit it square. I said, what's going on here? Nothing's changed. I'm swinging good. Well, here's a tip. Could be a swing key, is to get that head back there just like that. And for some reason, it helps you turn. It helps you also stay behind the ball. And as soon as I move my head a couple inches back, boom, right on the sweet spot. So that's another thing I do sometimes when I've lost my swing. Just put that head back. So you pick up these little things that help you along the way. So this last swing key, it's not really a swing key, but it's part of my to-do list. The last swing key is, how do I start to swing when I feel really out of sequence? And it's exaggerated, it's this. But you don't see that. It's just a little move, and that gets me, boom. So in my head, it's this, but it's really just just a little move that gets my swing started. It's very important when you're out of sync, and you will get out of sync. So those are my swing keys, things that I've written down. And do take notes. Do take notes when you practice. Afterwards, say, okay, blah, 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 this is what I did, this is what I did, this is what I did. And maybe 2 weeks, one of them doesn't work for you anymore. You got to figure out why. Why doesn't it work? So you make yourself a map of what works, right? A map of what works. And sometimes it's works with the driver, but it doesn't work with the irons. And sometimes it doesn't work for the driver, but it works for your fairway woods. You just got to go through a couple clubs. I just usually take to the practice range with me the driver, of course. I take my 7-wood, fairway wood, and I take a 8-iron and maybe a 7-iron. That's 4 clubs. That's all I hit. If I got those clubs down, my game is in good shape. So I hope this helps. This is what I go through on the practice range. And when somebody tells you, you don't have to practice, I'm going to give you a tip that's going to solve everything. I hope so, but I don't think so. Get out there and practice. Now, some of you are going to say to me, Tony, I don't have that kind of money to spend on a bucket of balls, every 3 days. You're doing videos, you're spending money to make money. Yeah, okay. Well, everybody, if you have any kind of property, backyard, even get yourself a net and just hit wiffle balls. Hit wiffle balls in your backyard just to get that, your hands and arms, they won't know the difference if it's a wiffle ball. Just get it and use each swing key and go through it. Wiffle balls, that'll keep you in shape. And then you can spend a few bucks for a warm-up bucket when you hit the course. Don't go on a course cold. I got to believe you're adding 3 or 4 shots to your score if you show up to the course dead cold. So I hope this helps. I hope you're going to hit them well after you see this. And yeah, you have to practice. Look at the greatest golfers who have ever played. What did they do a lot of? Practice. They practice all the time, especially short game. It's difficult. I'm going to do a short game video here because I got a little flag here, and I found this new range. We're in Bolton, Connecticut, and I found this range that lets me hit pitch shots. And so I'm going to go through and do a video on that. But you got to practice. Putting. I got it in my basement. I putt. I got to go to a green. I got to find a course with a practice green, and I go and I chip, and I chip, and I chip. You got to. We're human, especially when you get older. I remember when I was a kid, maybe I didn't have to practice so much because my body was ready to go. I don't know. But now that I'm 68, I got to practice. I can't rely on a secret weapon to get me through the round of golf. And plus, by practicing, and this is important, you got to keep up your golf shape. Golfers are athletes. And if you just play every so often, man, you get to the 14th hole and you're dragging. You got to keep in shape. And believe it or not, a wiffle ball, hitting 50 wiffle ball shots in your yard keeps you in shape. So until next time, I will see you hitting that ball the way you want to.